Here's what most people got wrong about the electric vehicle revolution. It was not a question of whether it would happen. Every major automaker, every government report, every analyst with a PowerPoint told you the same thing. Gasoline is dead. The transition is inevitable. And anyone who doubted it was simply behind the times. The only debate, supposedly, was how fast it would go. So here's the number nobody put in the headline. In 2024, Ford lost $130,000 on every single electric vehicle it sold. Not total, per vehicle. And they sold tens of thousands of them. Market analysts spent years building models that promised a smooth, unstoppable climb for electric vehicles. Charts that pointed straight up. Headlines that left no room for doubt. But when the actual sales numbers rolled in for 2024, the gap between prediction and reality was impossible to ignore. Bloomberg NEF, one of the most widely cited forecasters, projected that electric vehicles would make up 10% of all new car sales in the United States by 2025. The real number was just 7.6% in 2024, according to federal registration data. That shortfall translates to about 1.2 million fewer electric vehicles on the road than the models called for. And it is not just a rounding error. It is a chasm that automakers cannot bridge by wishful thinking. So what actually happened? The numbers that got buried in footnotes tell a story of missed targets and broken assumptions. Automakers built factories and supply chains for a future that did not arrive on schedule. Ford's $130,000 loss per electric vehicle in 2024 did not come out of nowhere. It is the direct result of betting on a growth curve that simply did not materialize. The same story played out across the industry. General Motors, Mercedes, Honda, each invested billions on the promise that demand would surge, only to watch inventories pile up and plants run well below capacity. The gap was not just about consumer hesitation. It was about the models themselves. Analyst reports that assumed every bottleneck would resolve on time, that charging networks would keep pace, that battery costs would drop faster than they did. Instead, the market hit a wall. And while the headlines kept touting the inevitability of the transition, the raw numbers told a very different story. If you are finding this breakdown useful, hit subscribe. In the next video, we will dig into which electric vehicle brands are burning through cash the fastest, and why some of the biggest names might not survive the next round. For now, let us know in the comments, has your own charging experience matched what you were promised? Rows of silent machinery and half-lit assembly halls have become a familiar sight at General Motors Factory Zero, a plant once hyped as the cornerstone of Detroit's electric future. The numbers tell the real story. Factory Zero was built to churn out 150,000 electric trucks and sport utility vehicles a year. In 2023, it managed just 57,500 units, barely 38% of what the blueprints called for. That shortfall is not just a statistic, it is a direct hit to the bottom line. Every unbuilt truck means fixed costs like labor, maintenance, and equipment depreciation get spread over fewer vehicles, inflating the cost of each one that does roll off the line. This is not just a General Motors problem. Ford's own filings show their electric vehicle business lost $5.1 billion in 2024 alone, translating to a staggering $130,000 lost on every single electric vehicle sold that year. The math is brutal. When factories run at half capacity, economies of scale disappear, and every car becomes a liability instead of an asset. General Motors itself has projected a $6 billion loss linked to its electric vehicle transition in 2024, a figure that includes not just slow sales, but the price of keeping underused plants like Factory Zero humming at a fraction of their potential. The operations teams at these plants face a daily paradox. They have been tasked to ramp up for a demand curve that never arrived, all while top management pressures them to cut losses. Stalled production lines and ballooning losses are not just a footnote. They are a warning sign for anyone betting on a seamless electric vehicle takeover. The reality on the factory floor is far messier, and it is starting to show up in the ledgers. Finding a place to charge sounds simple until you need one. The United Kingdom now lists 57,290 public charging points, but that number falls far short of what's needed for true convenience. Even where chargers exist, reliability is a gamble. On any given day, about 15% of those chargers are out of service. That means drivers regularly pull up to find a dead screen or a taped-off plug, then wait in line for the next available spot. For anyone not able to charge at home, this isn't just a nuisance, it's a deal breaker. The cost gap adds another layer. Public fast charging in the United States averages 35 cents per kilowatt hour, while plugging in at home costs just 13 cents. For drivers without off-street parking, charging an electric vehicle can end up more expensive than filling a small gas car. And behind the scenes, the grid itself needs a massive overhaul. The United States Department of Energy estimates a $250 billion bill for grid upgrades by 2030 just to keep up with projected demand. Broken chargers, higher public charging prices, and looming infrastructure costs all push would-be buyers to pause. That hesitation isn't just a personal headache. It is an open door for cost-advantaged newcomers to enter the market and undercut legacy brands, still wrestling with the basics. BYD is rewriting the playbook for electric vehicles, and the numbers behind its rise are hard to ignore. While legacy automakers struggle to break even, BYD's battery pack costs have dropped to around $80 per kilowatt hour, about 25% lower than the industry average. That's not just a lucky break. It is the result of vertical integration on a scale few rivals can match. BYD does not just assemble cars, it makes its own batteries, chips, and even the software that runs them, all under one roof. This approach slashes costs at every step, letting the company price models like the Dolphin and Seagull far below what Western brands can manage, even after subsidies. The disruption is not coming from BYD alone. Xiaomi, known for shaking up the smartphone market, has entered the electric vehicle race with the SU7. By applying the consumer electronics playbook, including fast development cycles, aggressive pricing, and massive pre-order campaigns, Xiaomi racked up tens of thousands of orders within hours of launch. The company's scale in electronics gives it bargaining power for components and a direct line to tech-savvy buyers who might have skipped legacy brands altogether. The result? Market share is shifting eastward. Both BYD and Xiaomi are proving that cost control and speed matter more than brand heritage or decades of auto experience. For consumers, that means more choices at lower prices. For legacy automakers, it means the old rules no longer apply, and the pressure to adapt is only getting more intense. Tesla's reputation as the one company immune to electric vehicle headaches took a hit in 2024. After years of boasting industry-leading margins, the numbers started to tighten. Tesla's quarterly filings revealed a clear trend. Average gross margin fell from 19% in early 2023 to just under 15% by spring 2024. Price cuts meant to defend market share against BYD and new Chinese rivals like Xiaomi squeezed profits even further. The sticker price on a Model Y dropped by as much as $7,000 in some markets, but those discounts came straight out of Tesla's bottom line. Suppliers felt the pressure too. Battery partners were asked to renegotiate contracts mid-cycle, and component orders were trimmed as inventory piled up. Investors, used to double-digit growth, watched as Tesla's stock fell sharply, down nearly 40% from its peak in the first half of the year. Layoffs followed, with about 10% of the workforce cut by April. For a company that once seemed untouchable, the reality of thinning margins and slowing demand forced a new kind of calculation. The lesson was clear. Even the leader cannot outrun the gravity of a market correction. Official timelines for phasing out gas and diesel cars are moving further into the distance. In March 2024, the UK government pushed its combustion engine ban from 2030 to 2035, citing the need for a more realistic transition. The European Union followed, announcing that its 2035 ban on new internal combustion engine sales would be delayed until 2037, after heavy lobbying from automakers and member states. In the United States, the Biden administration quietly revised its target. Instead of requiring 2/3 of new cars to be electric by 2032, a new proposal calls for hitting 50% by 2035. These changes aren't just political posturing. They offer immediate relief for carmakers who have been struggling to meet aggressive mandates with lagging sales and mounting losses. The message from lawmakers is clear. The original deadlines were out of sync with what the market and infrastructure could actually deliver. Automakers spent years mapping out investments based on strict emissions targets and zero-emission vehicle quotas. When those targets were softened, like the EU's 2-year delay on its combustion engine ban and the US shifting its 2032 EV sales goal back to 2035,
The math behind every new battery plant and assembly line changed overnight. Suddenly, factories that looked essential on paper became optional. Ford, GM, and Mercedes didn't just get breathing room. They got a chance to slow or defer billions in spending. Ford postponed its next wave of EV launches, while GM tabled plans for additional Ultium battery lines. These moves weren't just about buying time. They were about cutting exposure to losses that had spiraled out of control. For CFOs and strategists, every policy tweak now translates directly into cost savings or avoided write-downs. The new reality: investment is now paced by political risk, not just by projected demand. Right now, Ford loses $130,000 on every electric vehicle it sells. Charging networks still leave drivers stranded. BYD and Xiaomi are rewriting the cost curve, while governments quietly walk back deadlines. The real story isn't inevitability, it's uncertainty. Did your charging experience match the promise? Share your reality in the comments.